Hey bunnies, my name is Kissyface454 and this is Naked Sunday, the podcast. My book, The Best Head Ever, Fellatio, and start over. And we are going to be discussing my book, Fellatio. That's not the name of the book. Start over. Hey bunnies, my name is Kissyface454 and this is Naked Sunday, the podcast. For this episode, we're going to be doing a segment called Cocktails Over Cocktails. We're going to be discussing my book that I just wrote called The Best Head Ever, Fellatio. This episode is sponsored by nobody, but if you were a sponsor, this is where your name would come in. Thank you guys so much for listening. Thank you for watching. Let's go. All right, so I want to do a segment called Cocktails Over Cocktails, and my cocktail for the day is going to be some Taylor port wine. So go ahead and grab your cocktail before we begin talking. All right. So Taylor, wine glass. That's a lot. Okay, so if you have your cocktail, let's continue. Cheers. All right. So for those of you who don't know, I wrote a book. I don't know how many times I'm going to say that, but I wrote a book on how to give the perfect blowjob. It's called The Best Head Ever, and then in quotes or in brackets it's Fellatio. This is my very first book. It's doing okay. I appreciate all the love and support. Thank you guys. Now, along with this book, I do have a few, you know what? Don't be nasty. Now, outside of the book, along with the book, I do have a few YouTube videos, and that's how I started doing YouTube. So this whole going live and doing a podcast thing is completely new to me. All right. So please bear with me. All right. Now, in the book, I have 5 chapters. The 5 chapters are: 1, how to deep throat. I have my screen in front of me. 2, how to make it sloppy. 3, scrotum, perineum, anus. 4, hands, tongues, sound. 5, spit, swallow, facials. And then in each chapter, I break down how to do certain things, or what to do with certain body parts, or teaching you, telling you, guiding you on how to either swallow, the proper way to spit, because I don't believe in spitting, and how to take a facial without it getting in your eyes. All right. Now, a few weeks ago, I want to say last month, I attended an event. Yeah, it definitely was last month. The month just started. I attended an event where I was allowed to speak about my book and about giving head and all this stuff. And I uploaded that video, that whole thing, to YouTube, right? Now, one of the comments was that how about we get a hobby or invest in ourselves instead of doing all of this to please a man, and the man is just going to end up leaving you or not picking you or cheating on you or whatever the case is. Now, to that, for the people who believe that the things, the skills, the tips and the tricks that you're learning from this book or the information that I'm giving you is to appease every Tom, Dick, and Harry, you're sadly mistaken. This information that you're getting, how to swallow, how to take a facial, how to make it sloppy, how to deep throat, all of that, this information is only for a select few men, the men who deserve it, the men who you want to please in this way. Okay? Don't feel obligated to give the best blowjob in the world every single time you give a blowjob, because that's not how it's going to be. Everything that you learn in my book, it's not going to be used every single time in that one session you have with your partner, right? If you choose to not swallow or not make him get to the point of climaxing while giving him head, that's perfectly fine as well, right? Oh gosh, more people are joining and I'm getting hot. Okay. Yeah, not every blowjob is going to be the best blowjob in the world. And again, that's completely fine. Don't let that stress you out. If you are choosing to, you know, give him the best blowjob in the world, make sure that it's because you want to do it and not because you feel obligated to do so. Okay, make sure that you're doing it because you enjoy doing it and not because it's an obligation, like you're tied to this person so you have to do this every single night. That's not how it works. And make sure that you're doing it to someone who appreciates the fact that you're going to this extra length to make sure that they're enjoying the blowjob experience. Okay. Okay, now another question that I got the other day was, can the throat expand? Because the shape of his penis is like, it's wider at the head and then narrower at the base, right? And he wants to know how he can get his member further down his girlfriend's throat or his partner's throat or whatever. Can the throat expand? Can it stretch to accommodate certain size penises? Yes, it definitely can. How much so depends on how often the person is performing fellatio. If they're practicing fellatio, which again, in my book, the very first chapter, How to Deep Throat, I recommend that you get dildos of varying sizes, probably 3 with a suction base, suction it to a wall or a table or something, and start performing. The more you practice giving head, the better you will get at it with anything in the world. Practice makes perfect. Okay. Okay. Now, another way, or not another way, but one way, I'm going to give you 2. One, how to make your mouth wet. I'm coming up on that, babes. One way to stretch your throat is while he's sitting and you're kneeling and you're going down on him. If you kind of position, not me blushing, if you kind of switch positions of the way your head is, like move your head in different angles, don't go too fast, go slow, nice and slow and steady. It low-key will unlock another part of your throat. Like you'll be able to take more of him if you're moving around like this way, clockwise and anti-clockwise, instead of just going up and down, right? So that's one way to unlock another part of your throat. Another way to stretch your throat is if you take, like, grab his penis while it's in your mouth and like move it around in a circular motion, so it's like you're screwing it in to your throat, right? That will also help to stretch your throat so that you can take more of your partner in. That's that. Now the question, Queen Jessica, how to make your mouth wet. First thing is drink a lot of water. Drink as much water as you can. What you consume is going to affect how wet it's going to get, and that is chapter 2 of my book, How to Make It Sloppy. When you are deep throating, which is in the first chapter, you're naturally going to start, your mouth to start spring water naturally, right? So that's going to increase the sloppiness. So you do want to try to make sure that you get it as far back as you possibly can so that it can be wetter. If you are a smoker, right? If you are a smoker, that's going to cause your mouth to be drier. To alleviate that, don't smoke right before you give head. If it just so happens that you do, make sure that you have water with you. Do not get too drunk. Do not drink too much. Do not eat too heavily, because then when you are deep throating, what comes up is not going to be very pleasant. You want whatever comes up to be nice and clear and appealing, even though there are many men who appreciate a good throw up every now and then. So just relax and enjoy the experience completely. Make sure that when you're doing this, when you're performing, when you are giving the best blowjob ever, it's with someone, like I said earlier, who will appreciate it, who deserves it, because not every man you meet is deserving of the best blowjob in the world. Okay? Yes, take notes. Thank you. Whew. It's so hot. I'm so hot right now. I hope my filter don't come off while I drink it. Okay, so that's chapter 1 and chapter 2. Let me jump to chapter 3. Chapter 3 is scrotum, perineum, anus. In this chapter, I talk to you about what to do with the balls, what to do when you get to the perineum. The perineum is also the gooch, and what to do with the anus. We know what the anus is. Now, before you decide to jump from dick to balls to gooch to ass, you want to have a conversation with your partner to make sure that they're comfortable with certain things, because they also have to be willing and ready to accept the experience that you're about to give them, right? So, many men, we know, love head. We know head is very sensitive, the shaft, all of that. Moving down to the balls now, you have to be very gentle and very careful. Let's say your partner is open to everything, good for you. You want to try everything with him, good for you. Now, going to the scrotum, the balls, again, be very gentle. It's a very sensitive area. While you're down there, your hand is working the shaft, it's, you know, working the head, it's doing all of this. You want to make sure that it is super sloppy when you're down there as well, nice and wet, so that when you're sucking or licking, it doesn't feel painful. Not my neighbors outside playing. Oh gosh, the ghetto. Okay, so yeah, so that's with the scrotum. You have to be very, very gentle when you're licking, sucking, or while you're sucking on his shaft, you're using your hands to play with his balls, cupping them, rubbing them, massaging them, keeping them nice and warm. If you want, pull the scrotum up, you know, with the shaft as you're sucking. You're grabbing, so that's the balls, this is the shaft. You're grabbing the balls upwards like this. You're sucking and you're like gripping. I hope you're understanding what I'm saying. You're gripping the balls and the shaft together. And if your throat is wide enough, if his dick is small enough, if you have that, you know, innate ability to do so, go all the way down and get the balls in your mouth as well as the shaft. Blow his mind. Yes. And that's what you do with the scrotum. But of course, there's more in the book. Okay, so get the book. Now, from the scrotum, we move on to the perineum or the gooch. And right here, you're going to do mainly licking. You can suck if you want to. The balls at this point is going to be like either on your nose or your top lip or whatever. But again, you're still working the shaft. You're never at any point ignoring the shaft or the head, the penis itself, right? So you're licking and you're sucking. Again, you're keeping it nice and wet and sloppy and juicy, and it's a complete mess all over the place. And then from there, you go down to the anus, again keeping it nice and sloppy. If you're a woman and you've ever had head, if you've ever received cunnilingus and he decided to lick down there, it's pretty much the same concept. The thing with this position, if it's with someone who doesn't trust you, they're going to feel or might feel emasculated because of the position that they're going to end up in. Is the wine already kicking in? Girl. So depending on the position that they're going to end up in, which is pretty much their knees like up to their ears, you feel me? If you're really into it, like you're really trying to give the best head ever, you're naturally going to want to like push his legs further back while you're down there. But again, make sure that's a conversation that you have with your partner before you jump into any of this, all while keeping it nice and sloppy. And that's why I have the chapters the way they are. Because chapter 1 is how to deep throat, chapter 2 is how to make it sloppy. Once you've mastered deep throating, the sloppiness is automatically going to come into play. Once that happens, when the sloppiness activates, then once you get to the balls and the gooch and the ass, then it's just one amazing blowjob, right? And that is chapter 3. And this is why it's only 5 chapters. Like, I want to make sure, you know, you get all the information. Everything is straight to the point. There's no extra nothing. There's no fluff in the book, right? So we just go have them looking like is that a roach? What emoji is that? It looks so lifelike. Or were you trying to say a pretzel? Because anyways. Chapter 4 is hands, tongue, and sounds. While you are giving this blowjob, hi Farah. While you're giving this blowjob, you want to make sure that your hands are always activated. Your hands are always doing something. Even if you're doing it with no hands, your hands should be doing something, right? Whether, like, I like having my nails done, so whether you're grazing their thighs, or if they're sitting and you reach around their back and you're playing, you know, grazing their back, or while you're sucking, your hand is on the shaft and you're going up to the head and down and up and down, da 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 da. And just like I mentioned earlier with the balls, you're playing with the balls, you're reaching down, your thumb is on the gooch doing that little motion right there. Your hands should always be doing something. If it's getting super sloppy, if he has a big enough dick and you can grab it with both hands while going up and down and in a circular motion and all of that, the hands are very, very important. The hands will also alleviate any jaw pain that you might have, because if you're trying to get your man to climax while you're giving him head, he has to already be in the frame of mind that, okay, I want to come. If he's not in that frame of mind, he's going to sit there for however long you're down there for, and you're going to be working, your jaw going to start hurting, you might get a locked jaw. That's not cute, babes, at all. Then you're going to start get resentful and you go and bite him. Don't bite him, okay? Okay, all right, so that's hands. Always make sure that your hands are doing something, okay? Okay, hands, then tongue. Your tongue should always be working. It's not just your mouth and you going up and down, up and down, up and down. Your tongue needs to be licking and rapping and all of that stuff. I just did 2 opposite motions while saying 2 different things. You know what I'm saying, right? Your tongue should always be working. And again, this is where the ball play come in, the gooch, the ass. If you want to, while you're stroking his dick, if you want to lick like at the little crevice right there, so if you have a fine man and you just want to lick him up, now is the time. Now is the moment. He will, and even if you, I don't see how he could not appreciate it, because picture yourself just being licked and adored and enjoyed. Like, you want to just devour me? Yes. So do that for him as well. Again, you only do this for the men who deserve it, not for somebody that you're trying to win. This is for somebody you already have, someone you've already won, somebody you've already in your pockets, okay? Not saying that, and yeah, no, I'm right. I said what I said. If this person is trying to leave you and you want to figure out how to win them back, it's not going to be with head, because the problems that you guys had in the relationship prior, it's still going to be there. So use this as a tool of enjoyment for the 2 of you, okay? You know how they say sex is not a gift? Babes, this is a gift. You're welcome. You're very, very welcome. Yes. So yeah, hands, tongues, and sounds. You always want, you know how, and I've said this before, that porn low-key like ruins your sex life. It like ruins everything, because you have these expectations of what the sex is going to be, but then it's not, because we're living in the real world that we don't put water inside of our vaginas to make it look like we're squirting. Yeah. So, when it comes to sounds, you want to moan, you want to talk if you can, you want to hum, you want to make sounds so that your person knows that you are enjoying it as well. And that sound that you're making is going to trigger, like, all right, yeah, she love it, da 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 da, or he loves it, da 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 da, and it makes them want to climax faster. Yeah, because I know for me personally, one of my love languages is words of affirmation. So hearing you moan or say fuck or say my name while I'm doing something, I absolutely love that. Right? So while you're down there, make sure that you're moaning, make sure you're saying his name, make sure you're letting him know that you are enjoying what is happening. Right? Feel me? Yes. So that's hands, tongue, sounds, and that's chapter 4. Make sure you're doing all of these things. Yes. All right, I'm super hot. But the final chapter is chapter 5, and that's spit, swallow, facials. Again, I'm not a spitter. Spitters are quitters. There's no way you just did all of these things, right? You deep throat, you're making it sloppy, balls, gooch, ass, you're touching, you're making sounds, you're doing all these things, and then when he finally climaxes, you just like go spit it out, like, babes, no. So what we're going to do, if you do decide to spit, is you're going to spit it back on his dick and continue sucking. You're going to take that and up and down the shaft, and you're going to, but there are only certain men who can handle that, right? Because after he climaxes, he's going to be very sensitive. He's probably going to want to push you away, unless, you know, he's just into it like that. And then you just continue sucking and you have some more fun, and then you climb on top, and then you have a whole other session going on, but that's for another video, right? Right. Now, after you've, or if you decide to spit, that's the only way you should spit. You're not going to suck and gag and all of that and then spit it out. Like, you're not going to get up and run to the bathroom. That's going to ruin the whole mood. If you're concerned about what he tastes like or the texture or whatever the case is, this is where the swallowing part of the book comes in. What I recommend is to deep throat as he's climaxing, so it doesn't touch your tongue. Whatever goes in your mouth, it goes to the back of your throat, and then you just swallow that. This is also going to, what am I trying to say here? His diet is going to play a big role in what his semen tastes like, right? So if his diet consists of Hennessy and hot chips and, you know, fast food, it's not going to taste good at all. You want someone who is on the healthier side of life. If they do decide to drink, you know, that's great, but they still have them drink water, they're eating their fruits and veggies, it's not all red meats every single day. And like, no hate against any of that, because I do, as you guys know, love myself a good drink. I love myself a good Wagyu steak. So everything in moderation, but just make sure that your partner is consuming their daily water intake. I don't think I said that right, but yes. But if you do decide to swallow and you're worried about the taste or the texture, again, deep throating, which takes you back to chapter 1 of the book, how to deep throat. Yes. What does that say? What you got on your feet, sir? I'll send you my OnlyFans link. Anyways, it's swallowing. What was I saying? Yes, we did spitting. That's how you swallow, get into the back of your throat. And then what was the next thing? Spitting, swallowing, facials. All right. Now, when it comes to facials, the last thing you want is for it to get into your eyes, because cum does burn, right? Right. So what you want to do is, he's about to climax. You can feel that he's about to climax because either his dick is throbbing or he's going to tell you, or you just know, right? You just know he's about to come. So he pulls out. You want to open your mouth, tongue out, ready to receive, eyes closed, head back. Your person has to have good aim. Okay, if you're a girl like me who's always in makeup and lashes, don't get the cum in your eyelashes, because then it's just going to be a mess, right? So this again is going to have, your partner is going to have to, you know what he's doing as well. But for you receiving the facial, eyes closed, tongue out, mouth open, head tilted back a little bit because you don't want it in your nose as well. And yeah, that's how that's. And that is the final chapter of the book. Now on the last part, I do have a worksheet on where to give your man head, right? And with this worksheet, let me go to it really quick. It's nothing crazy. Like I said, it's just places that I think that you should try doing it. It's 12 places, and I'm not gonna give you all 12. I want you to actually get the book and, you know, see for yourself. But the first 3 are in a car while they're driving. And again, this one, your partner has to have enough control to know how to navigate while this experience is happening. So I'm gonna drive off on the side of the road or start swerving and then get pulled over by the cops thinking you're drinking and driving. That's girl. So the first one, yes, in the car while they're driving. The second one, in the trunk of an SUV. Now this one, if you have a nice big truck, like my husband has a nice big truck. If you guys are out somewhere, wherever, I don't know, whatever, you pop open the trunk, you sit down in the back of the trunk, and you get to work. The experience is fun because you're parked. Anybody can walk by at any time. Girl. So that's that. The next one is on the beach. This one is kind of tricky because sand in your mouth is very annoying. Okay, I remember, I don't remember how long ago this was, but I was giving a girl head on the beach, and it was the most annoying experience of my life because there was sand everywhere and we were both drunk. So it was like, babes, it was. So if you decide to go and give your partner head on the beach, make sure that it's completely planned out. Make sure you have a towel or a big sheet or blanket or whatever laid out. Make sure you have something that's holding it down in case y'all start to move around or whatever, so that there is no sand getting in the way in your mouth or in the crevices that it does not need to be. Can you imagine sand getting into your body head? Oof. That sounds crazy, girl. But yeah, those are the first 3. I have a bunch more in the worksheet, but you have to purchase the book to see the rest of them, okay? What I'd say, you about to get our eyes taken out of here. Yes, no, you have to close your eyes when receiving a facial. The last thing you want is cum in your eyes. Yeah. Was there anything else I wanted to talk about? I think that was it. I think I'm going to wrap this up right here. Let me just double check and make sure I don't have any more questions that I forgot to answer for you guys. You can see my skirt. Okay, let me see. Do you guys have any questions for me? There are a few here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I should wave to everybody. Let me wave to everybody. What are you guys drinking? Tell me what you guys are drinking. If you're drinking with me, you guys know. If you missed the beginning of the live, I'm drinking Taylor Port. And these lights have me super hot right now. Like I said in the beginning, these tips and tricks are not just for any regular, degular, schmegular person off the streets. This is for someone, Happy New Year, Ari, I love you so much. This is for someone who you already have, someone who you're with, someone who you trust, someone who trusts you, someone who is supportive. Aww. And yeah, like not everybody deserves, not every man deserves the best blowjob in the world, and that's just that. That's a that. Yeah. I'm trying to see because I'm using the phone for the live. I can't see it. It's not showing me. It won't log me in. It won't log me in. Okay, there we go. No, but now it wants me to do it from my phone. Oh my god. Wait guys, wait. Oh my gosh, it paused. It won't log me in. Man, they about to what? Hit buddy from the block with the double twist combo. Exactly, don't do that. It can't just be any regular degular schmegular man off the streets at all. No, not everybody deserves the double twist combo. Happy New Year, Manny. Haven't heard from you since last year. For real. Where have you been? It's been a whole year since last year. I'm well, babes. Hope you're well as well. My Virgo brother. Yeah. But I think that's it. I can't log into my app. I can't see what the questions or the comments are. If you guys have any questions, you have to tell me right now because I'm about to log off. It's 5:58. Happy New Year, Jalissa. I love you. Yeah, I think I covered everything though. I don't think there's anything else to add. So, if you enjoyed this live, come back next Sunday for another Naked Sunday live, another Naked Sunday experience. We're going to continue the topic of head, but we're going to divulge, we're going to jump into cunnilingus. Okay? Okay. So, thank you guys so much for watching. Until next time, peace sign and kissy face. Bye. How do I end this? Throw a filter on there, cause bitch. Why am I so scared?
It's New Year, I don't know.